feedback from Levi, who did your enrollment, like of how great the call was. And so I just want a reminder of why you got started doing this program in the first place. Like what made you realize like I have to make a change. I want to make a change. And, what was your reason for being here in the first place? Like what were you looking to do?
Well, so um my husband died. Now you know that. And now I live by myself with two little idiots. And I realize I don't have kids. My brothers are all dead. My parents are dead. My husband's dead. I do have, my stepchildren, but who's going to take care of me? And and I realized, I had started doing Nutrisystem, to try to get me to eat right. And, because one, cooking for, I was never a good cook. My husband was the cook. So I did that because I figured those are easy meals. I could just grab what I want and do that. And um, I just said, it's time to shit or get off the pot. I've been overweight for a long time now. I had done different things over the years. I did a low carb lifestyle for 5 years, kept the weight off. It was my own program. It wasn't theirs. I hated their program. So I designed and developed my own program that I lived for 5 years, and the weight came off, it stayed off. But then my parents were getting sick and flying back and forth. So, like I said, I knew I had to do something. One, I'm overweight. Two, you know, the fact that I wanted to get in better shape. You go to drills and, these young kids kick your ass. And it's like, I'm tired of being, even though I'm, 40 years older than most of these kids, I says, you know what? I'm going to get myself in better shape. So I may not be able to keep up, but I always believed in leading by example. So, I try to do the drills that, they do. I can't do them as fast as they do, but and so I wanted to exercise, eat right. It was one of those things. I saw the infomercial at, I forgot what time in the night, oh, this free fat place, protocol. So I clicked on it, and that's how it started. And then I get this phone call from Levi, and I'm like, hello, we have this other program. And I'm like, I'm listening, I'm always skeptical because I'm always worried about scams. And I'm like, he kept talking. I'm like, okay, this sounds pretty good. And then it was like, yeah, I think I need this. I need somebody to kick my ass, like having the app that shows me all the stuff. And I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this, so it's like keeping me accountable. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did it because one, you know, um, if I fall down in my house, who's going to get me up? I got to get me up, or hopefully my Apple Watch will dial 911. Um, it's just like I said, I tired of being overweight. It just, I need to keep myself strong. I'm, only 63, and my mom lived to 88 and grandma lived to 94. So I figure I got good genes on that side. So you know what? I got to get myself in shape and I want to get back into firefighting and I'm also coming off the shoulder surgery from a stupid chair.
Hmm.
So, I figured now is the time to just put everything together and just do it, get it done. And
Hmm.
it's, and I've always believed that this kind of program, even like Nutrisystem, but whatever, like my own program, it's everybody calls them diets. I call it a life plan or an eating change because you know what? It took me how long to get into this bad shape? It's going to take me a while to get back into better shape, and this is something that I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life, it's like I know like if I pick this up, do I want to eat that or not? And I'm making much better decisions. Plus, I'm not a kid anymore. It's
Hmm.
like my metabolism's changed, all that menopause shit, whatever.
Yeah. And then very honestly, what has your experience been since doing this program? I know the conversations that we've had, but I want to rehash like what it's been like for you doing it.
It's been amazing. I get mad sometimes. I get on the scale and like, oh, I should go down. But the thing is, I realize that's just a tool, and the fact is that, I have lost 35 pounds. I have had to go out and buy new clothes. I can't, I'm still having trouble. I bought a stupid thing to try to do the measurements, but doing it myself is a pain in the neck. So I have to wait until I see my stepdaughter to help me do my measurements. And even I got to do another set of pictures. But I know the program is working because, like I was telling Brittany the other day, like when I was away on vacation, I didn't have my weights or anything. And plus, I somehow, she put them back on my app, but I lost some of my exercise things. But I'm like, I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling like more confident. Um, it, even like flexibility wise, like there's one exercise that I have never not held on. And all of a sudden I'm like doing it with, and I didn't have any weight, but I was doing it and I'm reaching down with my leg behind me and I'm like, I wasn't afraid, because I've been
Mm,
so afraid because of the shoulder. But I was like, oh wow, I just did that without holding on to something or having something near me just in case.
mm,
But the program itself, as well as all the support from the coaches, the peers, because you realize as you read the comments everybody puts out there, we're not alone. We're all the same breed. We all want to help people, but one of the things that people forget about is you got to help yourself. And I try
mm.
to tell that to people all the time. If you don't take care of you, how are you going to take care of your husband or this one? So I got to take care of me and this is the best way to do it with this program. It's been working. Um, like I said, everybody's been amazing. I'm following my stuff. And we just changed up some exercises and I was,
Outside of that, I want to ask you one more question, which is you kind of already brought it up, which I think is interesting. Being skeptical of signing up. So a lot of people, I would be concerned if you or anybody else signed up without any kind of hesitation, or especially nowadays, like AI, all this other stuff going on. There are scams. There's a lot of people that have been burned by coaching programs. I am one of them. I think after this amount of time and how you've shown up, you realize that like we're the real deal.
oh yeah.
But people that don't have that experience, they're probably going to feel the same. So my question is, somebody that was like on the fence like you were before you started, after having had the experience that you've had, what would you say to those people? Like, hey, I'm thinking about doing it, but I'm just like, I don't know. This seems like it could be a scam. It's an online thing. I'm uncertain. I'm not sure. I just am on the fence. What would your words of advice be to those people?
It's not a scam. It's a real program. And this is what I've told people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like people like my chief, and I'm trying to get him to sign up. I'm like, because he looks at me and I'm like, he goes, we're gonna have to get you a new class A. I said, yeah, well, we're not gonna get it now. We're gonna wait till I'm a little smaller. I could deal with the bigness. But it's like, I told him, I said, I went from this thing at night, just the free 12-week program, which I did get in the mail or online, and then Levi calling me. And I said, I was a little skeptical with Levi, like, who the heck is this? And what are you talking about, Levi? But, I would tell people it's real, and I have told people it's a real program. And, it's the best thing that I ever did. Because again, you know, I'm accountable to me. My coach will, Jake was challenging me. Now I've got Brittany, um, and making sure that I have any questions, concerns, they're there for you. I said, it's not like you're left out in the lurch, it's like if I need something, hey, Jake, I need this, or, I've only been with Brittany for like 2 days because I missed something. I was on vacation. But
Mm.
it's like if I need something, I know that person's there. I know you're there. So, and I tell people it's real thing. And I tell them the other thing is that things that and that you think if you've seen some of my posts that I've said to people is the things that I always knew about exercise and dieting and everything, because this is a science-based program, are all blown out of the water. It's like I never thought I'd be eating, she just cut it down a little bit, but 2,200 calories and this many protein. I'm like, because growing up, it's like, oh, you only 1,500 calories, 1,200, make sure you do this. No, it's working, and like I said, the pounds are coming off, but also I'm gaining muscle. I'm feeling better. I'm like I go walking with my friends, so it's like, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, we got to get you out walking more, because I'm walking and talking, and I'm like, I used to be them. So I tell everybody, no, it's a real program. If you need any, just let me know. I'll hook you up. I've been telling a lot of people. So
Awesome. Well, I have to give you some credit where credit's due because the truth is, and I'm biased, justifiably biased, because I am the creator of this program, so I better believe that it's the best program on the planet for firefighters. I do believe that, but I'm admittedly biased. But here's the thing. Doesn't matter how good the program is if you don't show up, put in effort, and do the work. So just the fact that you are here now with all of this in mind and that we're having this conversation, that you've dropped the weights and the belt sizes and the progress and the mental health and the support and everything in the way that I personally seen you show up, which has been such a joy. Because like I said, even though you're not one of my one-on-one clients, you have shown up enough that I've gotten to know you. And that means you've put in the effort, you've shown up and you've done the work. You've done your part because this program and every program, I don't know if people realize this when they sign up for programs, it is a partnership that requires effort on both sides. You can't sign
right.
up for a program and then expect that there is no effort involved on your part to do the work. And so just by you being here and getting those results, that's proof of that. It's like, yeah, the program's great if you do it. So you can't like sign up and expect it just to, hey, I'm here, showing up is enough, and you get a participation trophy. That's not enough. But you're here and you've done it and you have the story that you have and you're going to continue to make progress. And that's because of the effort that you're putting in. So I want to tip my hat off to you for that and say that it has been a genuine, like, true pleasure to have you in the program, to even participate in like some of the fundraising efforts we're doing for the home builds, to just how you've shown up and committed to the process and inspired others. Yeah, there you go. There's
Come
donation
late.
right there.